Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff. Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Yeah, so I called an audible in the last minute, and I went live anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, at
Hello.
least we're all pretty before we got on.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Even even I got pretty. Hi guys.
Hey.
Hello.
First of all, I want to say hi everybody here on Turbo Go Tabloid Live, as well as all you people who are watching at in space, because apparently people are just went into an outer space. For you guys who are circulating the Earth, I want to say Mazel Tov. Enjoy your spacewalk. Have a good time up there while you're up there, and make sure you just catch a few minutes of Turnbuckle Tabloid while you're looking at the Earth from where you at. And other than that, are you guys prepared for tonight? Because apparently there's some big brouhaha happening, and it's not on NXT.
What's going on?
I love the fact that you guys are just oblivious to what's
I mean, oh, you mean the debate?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll be tuning in.
Yeah. I'm looking.
I'll
I'm
catch
looking.
the highlights tomorrow.
I'm looking for them to draw higher numbers at NXT. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because that's what we really want to be conscious about. Who drew higher numbers at NXT or the debate? So if you guys don't know by now, I'm joined by the co-host of one of our shows on the New York Wrestle Media Network. I have Ariana and Mike showed up, and Mike is just it's just a pseudonym for something else, but he really goes by Homework Mike on Turnbuckle Tabloid. We're trying to still keep our gimmicks here, and we're still working. I know she's Ariana, not the Grande on Instagram, but we got to get her a gimmick name soon enough here for Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Yeah, well, you're the one that came up with Homework Mike, so I assume you're the one to give her nickname.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it just comes out on the fly when it happens. Yours was pretty simple because you being white, a certain size is like a gallon of milk, and then it so happened when you turned to me and says, "It's funny because I actually work in a supermarket and that's my department." I was like, oh, "Perfect! Look at that, great."
Yep.
So this past weekend we dealt with the opening of the NFL season, and of course we dealt with the pay-per-view known as All Out, which I must say both were pretty interesting to say the least. I have to say. I know there was some who have very boisterous opinions about what occurred on All Out, and this is what Turnbuckle Tabloid is here for, to stress those opinions. So Mike, when you're ready to rip it open, let's see what we got on the table for All Out and our look back.
Yeah. So, did anybody watch the 0 hour before I go into the results?
I had it playing, but Just
Yeah,
in and out room.
I
Is
did
that
the
in the
same.
background?
You know,
Yeah.
making dinner and yeah.
Okay, so on the 0 hour, we had the Acclaimed defeat the Iron Savages. Double Ring of Honor champion Dustin Rhodes teamed up with Sammy Guevara and Hologram. I don't think we mentioned about this or talked about Hologram at all.
Mhm.
This is a Tony Khan idea for a AAA guy.
Yeah, apparently
Mhm.
this was his one of his dream characters he created in his pseudo wrestling world and such. So yeah. This was back in his heyday when it was just him and two of his friends booking wrestling matches on a computer.
You mean himself and him? Just when you say his friend, just himself.
No, yeah, it was actually him and two other guys. That's exactly what it was. You would
Huh.
think that they usually these community groups they have like a large following who read these
Mhm.
template booker kind of programs, but it was just three of them. No one else was watching, and nobody was paying attention to it.
Yeah, it was like a fan fiction kind of thing.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, they defeated the premier athletes Tony Nese, Ari Daivari, and Josh Woods. Then we had the Bang Bang Gang defeat the Dark Order. And then, Jesus Christ, how many fucking matches were there? And then we had the Undisputed Kingdom beat the Beast Mortis and Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and Top Flight. And that was pretty much the 0 hour. But they did do an angle on the 0 hour where they had Sky Blue come out and Mariah May attacked her, and then Queen Aminata came out for the save. So, TV match for
Yeah.
between them two?
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a match on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Or at
Yeah.
least Aminata challenged her for Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a long road until we get the rematch with Tony Storm.
Yeah, I think so.
Because unless Jamie Hayter makes a claim for her belt again, I mean, Mariah May is pretty much in limbo with these other girls.
Yeah.
Start off the show with MJF and Daniel Garcia. Let me start with Jay. What you think overall of this opener?
That was a perfect curtain jerker for the event. I thought both men looked fine. I didn't see anything that was really a problem with this match, except the end. I thought the finish kind of went away that I didn't benefit any of the guys, especially knowing after the fact that MJF is actually going away for a few months to film a movie. I believe that if anything, if you wanted to leave something open, you could have at least done an injury angle on him with Garcia going to do more than what he did. Shit, put him over at least. And I know that still it's up in the air that he has yet to sign a contract with them yet. But if he doesn't sign, then hey, fuck it. If he goes out with a win. Who cares? But other than that, I thought the match was fine. The two dudes tore it up. You got technical, you got brutal, and it was a clean cut match for me.
All right, what you think?
I agree with Jay. It was a really great opener. They really went in on each other. You could feel that hatred between them, all the spitting they did on each other, and I was surprised that Garcia didn't win. I thought that he was gonna go over, whether he is staying or leaving. I thought that they would just give him that one little last rub. So I mean, we don't know if he pops up on Dynamite. The way he went out through the crowd kind of makes you wonder, like, is he staying? Is he going? Is this his last hurrah by beating the hell out of MJF the way he did? Choked them out. I guess we'll see.
Because there's some conflicting reports where he has not re-signed, but I mean, I get it from AEW standpoint where if the dude is not re-signed long term, don't have him go over your top star. I guess that's the mentality. But that's also too is like now that we know that he's taking time off, Grand Slam's right around the corner, and you would think they want to sell more tickets by promoting MJF on the show because he gets the biggest reactions once they come over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, like I said, the match was fine, and then the finish, like Jay mentioned, very it was the low blow, right? That just did him in, and that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a quick little went to do the handshake. MJF, of course, doing his dastardly deed stuff. Went for the kick, but Garcia caught the leg. He was up on it quick. I have to say though, like this is the kid that I wanted to see for a while. I wanted to see Red Death come out for some time now. We didn't see any of the hip shaking, head like crotch banging kind of. We didn't see this, right? So
This was the
is-
most serious Daniel Garcia we've seen in a while.
Right.
And I think this was the first time where it's still hard for me to watch him because he still has that Jericho stench on him. So it's like because he was in that group for too long, but now he's doing his own thing. I think with this feud, if he does stay, it's definitely he's still one of Tony Khan's pet projects. It's like him and Wheeler Yuta that he wants to be his next two top stars.
Yeah, this is the reason why I said that he needed the win here. He needs to get that away, get that Jericho, faction kind of thing. If he's gonna go independent, let him be on his own and let him be a badass that we would see in the in the indie scene that we saw. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
I'm assuming the lady's me, right? Oh, okay, I guess not. All right. So,
Lady J.
Lady J.
Lady J. Ooh.
So yeah, I pretty much figured that that should have been the finish, but we get an exiting MJF, and now we see what happens from Garcia to here. Well, we'll find out soon enough.
And you know what the funny thing was, the middle row pile driver would not be the most crazy spot on this show, as we'll get into.
Ooh, not at all.
This was like a sign of things to come.
Right.
Yes.
Next up, okay, I don't think we really need to go too much into this, but the Young Bucks beat Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. This was pretty much a normal tag match that they could have been done on television. This was like the second time the Bucks have defended it, and like 2 weeks ago in All In. Meanwhile, they won the belts back in April.
Right.
So this was like the second defense in 4 months. So I don't know. That's really stood out. Claudio did the 20 rotations with the spins, and
Got a crotch ball shots thing.
Another theme on this show.
Yeah. A lot of dirty play. Yeah.
And not for nothing, this is, and not to mention for Claudio and Wheeler, this would be not the last time we see them on this show as well. But Jay, any thoughts about this tag match?
Yeah, watching this match made me realize that I know a lot of people talk about other talents who go to other promotions, flying from one to another, and they go, "Wow, what are they doing with this one? What are they doing with that one? Waste of talent, this and this and that." This made me realize what a wasted talent Claudio is. Like, I mean, granted, regardless of what title he may be holding at the moment or didn't or isn't holding at the moment, it just seems to me that I would have had him so much higher on the card as a singles for so long that now that it just feels as though that he's just gonna be treading water where he's at right now. And I think it is just hopefully what we see what happens later on down the line, right? But
they teased us weeks ago with the Claudio Kazuchika Okada match, right? You would think, oh, now it's time for the singles push, but now, I mean, when people had predictions for him going to AEW, it's like, oh, world champion. Tony Khan said, Ring of Honor world champion 2 times.
Right.
I mean,
like, let me put a cigar out on that shit. All right, fuck it, we're not doing that.
I mean, it's also hard to say what he'd be doing in WWE right now. So it's you really can't say he's been wasted so far or like being misused. I don't know.
He's not wasted so far. How long has he been there, dude? Like,
no, I mean, like he's been there like what, 2 years now?
Please,
I think 2 years now.
Even all right. It to me, it's just, hey, this guy comes from WWE. Put him with them. Let's put them over here. Let's put him over here with them, and then you just leave him in a clusterfuck of just obscurity. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll wait to see if he turns out to be I don't know, the TNT champ for a couple of couple of weeks and loses it on Rampage or some shit.
We'll get into what they did later on the show. But next up, let's be on agreement on this one. Match of the night: Will Ospreay and Pac international title. We could go. It's hard. We really can't go spot for spot. They pretty much did everything under the fucking sun. Poison Ranas off the top, hidden blades like where Pac just like spins like out of control. I mean, these two pretty much did. This was the prototypical video game match in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I personally don't think it was a match of the night, but it was up there. We'll get to that when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fantastic match, like you said, exactly what we expected to see coming out of Will and Pac. Fantastic work together. We knew that Ospreay was winning it, but I think that that this really can hopefully elevate Pac to do more in the singles runs. Maybe go after the TNT or the Continental titles for now. Something. But yeah, it was fantastic just to see that match like live. Fantastic.
Yeah, for me, I nailed it when I said it. This was going to be the try hard match, and sure enough, it was. I it would be. Didn't hate it. There was a spot that the ring apron spot on the outside. I mean, this is what it kind of reminded me. Maybe Artie would probably relate if she remember watching these matches. It kind of reminded me of a Dragon Gate kind of match. It had that kind of feel for it. As well.
Absolutely.
Not a bad reference, but in an AEW setting, especially now, I think it was just like one of those like, yeah, it was a little bit too try hardish for me. And especially with all the false finishes, it just went a little bit too much on that. But didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. Had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Next up, so here's why. So I said the last match was match of the night, but my favorite match and your favorite match, Ari, Will Nightingale and Chris Statlander, Chicago Street Fight. These two killed each other.
They tore that house down.
Will hit Chris with a pounce on the outside that broke the barricade. I think it was Chris doing a swanton off the top, and Will was supposed to get out of the way, but she still landed on her and went through the table at the same time.
Yes.
Chris hit her with the trash can on the stage, and then Willow just pulls out a light tube out of nowhere.
Oh my god, yeah. When's the last time you've seen a light tube on like a major promotion?
Let alone with the women.
Let alone with the women, yeah.
I mean,
that was fun.
I mean, I feel like we've seen the light tubes before. I think it's been a while though.
Yeah.
But like when Will pulled out, it was like that, like immediate reaction of like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, and then she's like threatened Stokely with it.
But then that wasn't even the craziest part of the match, where Chris, I believe she was going for like the Booker T like scissor kick. She goes for it. She does the splits onto thumbtacks.
Oh, I felt that. And then, it didn't hit her hoo-ha or anything, but the inner thigh. Oh my, that's such a sensitive area, and that was genuine screaming out of her.
I mean, the only thing that was missing was like the Shelly Martinez moment where she was screaming, "My vag, my vag."
Yeah.
But
I was wondering how much time it was going to take for somebody to remove the tacks out of her cooter.
Oh, but she had those two right in the crease of her butt cheek and her thigh. Oh, I know those hurt.
No, well, that and the one thing that put me. Well, first of all, I like to say thanks for using the light tube on the stage area so that nobody else could get hit with shrapnel from the crowd.
Oh yeah, because he did that with Darby doing that, and the fans complaining in the front row that the guy hit with the light tubes. Okay, so it's been a while, but more of that chemistry with their matches, please. I mean, Willow and Chris, they both came up through the same school, and they knew what the hell to do, and they overall they put on an excellent brawl, and Chris got the win.
Yeah.
The other aspect of the match here, and this is the only thing that put me off of the match, was Statlander watches Willow wrap the chain around her fist
Mhm.
and looks at her and then slaps her and just says, "All right, now punch me with the chain." I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
Mm.
come on, serious? This is what we're
Yeah,
taking?
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, and I'm going, all right, let's take it home, guys. I'm done here. So,
I mean,
like I said,
the
not my
finisher
kind
with
of
the chain was great.
what was that?
The finisher with the chain, like wrapped around her mouth and her neck.
Right, yeah, yeah.
That was great.
But like I said, I guess once again for matches like this should be the be all end all. But and by the way, Adi, you called it. It wasn't for a title.
Mhm.
And
This was the thing we were debating, but I think they did explain why it was on the line because CMLL doesn't allow their belts to be defended on those rules.
And
Right.
just have to say that it did kind of look awkward with Statlander. Instead of holding up a belt, she's holding up chain. Like I was like, oh, bendito, it was supposed to be a belt. Oh, I'm sorry.
I liked it though. She looked badass doing that.
So other than that, like I said, one time.
Do you think they run it one more time?
Yeah, they got to run it back one way or another.
They probably will. Put them in a cage.
Maybe. Next up, 4-way for the Continental title: Okada, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Konosuke Takeshita. The only thing I remember from this match, honestly, was where Okada and Takeshita had a face-off, and the crowd got very excited about that.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, right now with a lot of the stars that are missing, Adam Copeland, Kenny Omega, Samoa Joe out for either injury or just personal reasons. If I could put these two in the ring together, they could do let them do what they do. Because we haven't seen New Japan Okada yet. He's been half-assing and still doing the best work he's been doing.
He can't do wrong.
Right.
I was really excited when they finally faced off, and then Orange tried to interfere, and we were like, "Get out of there!" We were screaming, "Get out of the scene, Orange! Get out!" Because that's a match that I want to see. I need to see that one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it at Grand Slam live.
Once I was already put off that once the Mark Briscoe Cassidy spot was happening, I'm like, oh God, here we go.
When they didn't want to hurt each other.
Exactly.
And then they started going at it.
Here we go. Another guy who I have to say that I'm waiting to see what we're doing with him. Like clock is ticking. Takeshita. I mean, like,
yeah, it looks like it does look like this might be the start of a push from seeing the exclusive backstage clip after, where Don Callis was like, this is the one that needs to get the recognition. He's the one that needs to get the push, and Takeshita says some crazy shit in Japanese, like a villain, and then which sounds
pretty much.
He sounds phenomenal speaking in that evil, ominous tone while he's speaking Japanese, because it really feels like a true villain doing it.
But I think they're going to turn him. One way along the line, they're going to turn him because the fans are going to be right behind him in a while. Because if you keep getting him these losses and not getting him some kind of wins already, the fans are they're gonna turn him. And we're at a point right now that, like you said, with all the talent that's missing, this is where we can start elevating the younger guys, and we're just watching. And I like that small glimpse of the Okada Takeshita exchange, and I'm like, okay, now let's get it to a larger level. So hopefully that's the next build from here on after.
It's always funny to hear Don Callis cut promos when he's putting over his guy. He's like, my guy, 6'4", 200. He's like a very statistic person. And he talks about like how big they are. It's like,
I know.
It's so off-putting to hear because I'm just so used to hearing managers be like, that person sucks and we're gonna kick their ass. Meanwhile, Don Callis is like, oh, what an athlete.
He presents them,
Yeah, his favorite word is athlete.
Congratulations to Don Callis getting a gig with Maple Leaf Wrestling for commentary. Congratulations to him.
It's gonna be interesting hearing him and Morrow. I mean, they did commentary in New Japan, right?
I
think no, that was Josh Barnett.
Barnett,
Morrow.
Right.
And that was Kevin Kelly and Don Callis. Oh Jesus! How long do we want to talk about Mercedes and Shida?
Not long. But I must say about Shida, Um, the woman has a lot of upswing to her. I'm very much a fan of her. I just hate like that silly chair spot that she does outside of the ring in most of her matches where she sits them down and such. But as a wrestler, I think that she has such an upswing.
Right.
The downside in the match with Monet, it's just like woof. I can't stop watching just the miscues that Monet gets. She gets 2 or 3 spots and it gets everybody over. Everything else just looks like she's like a newborn horse in the ring, like she didn't know how to wrestle before. It's kind of bothering me a bit.
It almost feels like she still hasn't shaken off the WWE bubble off of her.
Right.
You know,
I
she
was
still
gonna say
wrestles,
that, too.
right? Like very like she's so used to everything being so maybe so choreographed
Right.
that now that she's in AEW where there's more freedom, she doesn't know how to call spots in the ring maybe, or doesn't know how to like take the cues from another wrestler to do a spot. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. And not only that, but maybe it was just me, but I felt like Sheeta was moving a little slow also. Towards the end, like it's almost like she got winded towards the end.
Yeah, because I guess she was trying to keep up with
She
her.
was carrying Mercedes so much the whole match.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what it felt like. I don't know what
Really?
other than the Willow match. I don't know what's going on with Mercedes. She feels off. It feels like she's not giving 100%. I mean, when Sheeta gave her the kicks, that's her finish. Like she gave her 3 of them, and Mercedes kicked out at 1. I go, are you fucking kidding me?
Weird. I almost thought that she got like legit injured and rolled out the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt at first. Like, did she get injured? And but then no.
Yeah, and then of course Mercedes, she needs to change that finish. It doesn't look good. It does.
No.
It's. I don't know if this is worse than the Britt Baker match or better. I think both are equally bad.
It was better than the match with Britt. But I thought that the match that Sheeta and Mercedes had a few weeks back on Dynamite was way better than this one.
Yeah, like what happened here?
It was just weird. Like you guys put on a really good match, and then here it's like, not that it was bad. It just wasn't what I was expecting with Sheeta in the ring.
And also too, we're 1 month into Camille being here, and you're already doing the band from ringside gimmick. Like, isn't she supposed to like? That's the thing you do 3 months down the road when after you build heat.
What was the point of banning her if she was going to win clean?
Like there was no spot where Mercedes had knocks or nothing. It was like she just beat Sheeta.
I just thought that maybe like some other person would come out, another muscle person for her would come out because Camille's banned, but not this person because no one's expecting this person to come out, and no one came out.
This was the most straightforward bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Where it's one of those weird things where you expect the bullshit and then they don't give you the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, there's something going on with her, and I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think there's something to it where it's like she's used to the WWE style, but it's also like how long? How long, lady? How long?
I know. I mean, I understand. Like, okay, she wrestled 2 or 3 matches before she got injured in Japan, and then she had all that time off. But it's like, okay, now you're here. Like, let's see you start like picking up their style.
If you are the highest paid female on the roster and you say you're the best women's wrestler on the roster, you really need to shut.
No, she needs to. I don't dislike her. It's just
prove it, lady.
Yeah, she needs to start changing her style up. Like, get a little aggressive in there. Don't expect people to do everything for you.
Amazing Red has time to train you. Let's go. Shit.
Yeah,
get in the ring.
I think there's something else that's going on there. Like we mentioned, it might be we can't get the stink off the WWE style, and I really believe that maybe she's a little bit of ahead of the game in her mind when it comes to this. I feel as though that maybe they brought it a little bit back too soon after injury, or maybe she's not getting enough ring reps. And at least in WWE, she was on TV every week, almost every show. She was getting a lot of ring work there. Here we only seen her maybe once every 2 weeks and such. So maybe she's not getting the ring time that she should be allotted to. But other than that, like this match here, it was a pretty much a given what was going to happen. But she needs she needs more time in the ring.
Yeah.
Less talking and more working.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she's had more championship celebrations than Swerve's entire championship run.
Mhm.
And that man only had one. Mercedes had like 5. Ridiculous.
Which, by the way, I wanted to go back to just thought about the whole Ospreay match and such. I think we saw around this time where we had the exchange with Ospreay and Ricochet in the back, and I'm like, and I know everybody was like, "Yo, that's right. Let's get Ricochet. Let's go. Open mic. Let's get him. Cut the promos, baby. Yeah, let him rip. Let him go." And it was flat like a.
He got the first though.
Watch your back, Will.
Wow. Oh, we got to use bad words on TV.
I know. I love the way you say, "Yeah, you talking shit," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then it was like, "Come on, man, go a little bit."
I totally see them giving these two the tag belts to just build up their feud. Make them the tag champions, and then have Ricochet be like, "I want your belt, though."
Yeah, I swear, I just heard him say something, and then after Ospreay walked away, he was like, "I'm gonna see you, champ," and I just looked at the TV and was like, yeah, good job, champ. Good job. So, yeah. So,
for the people who wanted Ricochet to have the mic, just calm down on that for a little bit.
Yeah. Let him. He's another one that has to get rid of that WWE stink also.
Yeah, but on what? Ring wise?
Yeah.
Or lack of promo wise? I mean, they never really let him talk like that in WWE.
Right.
Until like his final weeks, where he was like, "Dragon, if I'm gonna kick your ass." It was like, "Oh, then you get put through a car and you're done."
Right. He needs to like warm up to having the mic in front of him.
Right.
Next up, Bryan Danielson, Jack Perry, AEW World Title. I mean, as far as Jack Perry getting heat, it was pretty much subdued. It wasn't as crazy as I think a lot of people expected.
Yeah,
it was a big pomp and for circumstance, especially with the intro coming in with the black accessorized bus that you would take well out to her clinic appointment with.
The ice cream bus.
Yeah.
and they had the giant goat head.
And you had the armed guards with his butt buddies walking behind him and such. And it's like, okay, we get it. Good job.
Yeah.
But how long is he like? If you're gonna make him a heel, make him a heel. But how long are you gonna keep just? The only heat he has is the fact that he pretty much had CM Punk get fired. That's all his heat.
People are past it already.
Right. I mean, like people, like we're already like a year over it, and people are still like Jack Perry's still. I don't know. Eventually, you're gonna have to do something to get heat. Me, go on TV saying like, even though my father's dead, I'm gonna have a better legacy than he did. Do some nonsense like that.
Well, I think right now, the fan base is already done with the whole CM Punk shit. They want to move away. They're like, all right, it's fine. We get it. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
I think so.
But for this match, I swear to you, I tuned the fuck out during the match. To me, I swear, because it came to two folds for you. Number one, I knew he wasn't gonna win, and number two, but Daniel, he really is becoming copy and paste Danielson for me towards the end of his run. It's not him. It's because we've seen and known him for so many years. There's like nothing new for me to see with him anymore. And it's almost like I can call the match now. It's like I'm in the ring and I could call the match now. And maybe, maybe chalk it up to because of injury, he can't do as much as he used to. Chalk it up to the fact that, we're winding down, and maybe to what was going to be the buildup. But at the end of the day, it's like, I get it. We're seeing the last of the great.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what the funny thing about this is that this is probably Jack Perry's best outing in the ring so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, he's in the ring with Danielson, but like Jack Perry was still bumping his ass off. I mean, he pretty much went across the ring when he took the running knee, and then
Twice.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but when he put his arms, he didn't block it. He just in defiance put his middle
He did
fingers up. It's like I don't know. It's like
it was very reminiscent to Raven. When he put his arms out at the end, like, come on, like this, like it was very reminiscent to Raven. So I'm wondering if he's trying to channel a little Raven in his style, that dark, gloomy, gives no shit about nobody but himself, kind of like.
I guess. I mean, he's still lost. It's like.
Oh yeah, who expected him to?
I just looked at that as like, you give up.
But no, it's more like he took it he took it like a man at the end. Like, yeah, come at me, hit me. Kind of like with the chair shot. Like he was like, go ahead, do it. Hit me with a chair. Like, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a tough guy.
Well, then Danielson wins, and then it's time for the big angle of the night, where the BCC come out. And
wait! You jumped first.
Yeah.
Kill Switch came out first.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so
there was that little.
So Kill Switch gave him the choke slam, and then Christian Cage came out with Mother Wayne and Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
And then John Moxley came out of nowhere, blocked his pass, and then.
Yeah, right there. I was getting scared at that moment. I'm like, oh, he's gonna do something to Brian. Oh my god.
So then, because remember, Christian has his Money in the Bank contract that he can cash in for any time he wants. So they run off, and then Moxley, like I was about to mention, Moxley strangely gave Danielson a long ass hug, which is a weird thing for Moxley to do.
And the kiss of death.
Well, but even before that, it hit me later when after Kill Switch came in, and I'm going, oh shit, I forgot Jurassic Express. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did have a little face off.
Call back to that, right?
A little call back there, and then
Perry was scared.
Once the standoff happened and Pac was just standing there, and I'm like, wow, he just looks so weird with them. I'm like, it just look. He looked
because
like
all three, because Yuta, Moxley, and Claudio were like in clothes, and Pac was still in his gear.
Yeah,
it's like, and I'm gonna date myself. It's like you see all the Transformers lined up, and then a GoBot stands right next to them. Transform 2, and I'm like, go back in the closet, Pac.
Okay, so we had Mox hug, and then Claudio hug, and then Claudio hits the uppercut on Brian, and Brian just falls on his ass, and it was funny at first because Brian looks at him like, "The fuck are you doing?"
I know, he was like, "What?" Like his whole world shattered around him.
And then we see Moxley behind, like fiddling with something, and then he puts a plastic bag over Brian Danielson's face, trying to kill him on pay-per-view.
Yuta, remember Pac like hugging Yuta, and he's like, "It's okay."
Yeah, Yuta.
Yuta
didn't know what this was going to happen, so he's like, saying, "No, don't."
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be something more like seductive happening because everybody's dressed and Pac is still in his drawers, and I'm like, this is kind of weird, dude. Like he's grabbing him, hugging him, and
they weren't being aggressive with Yuta. They weren't like attacking. They were just like, it's okay. Like, you could see like the whole time. Audio was like, it's okay. It had to happen. Like, oh my god.
And then I mentioned when we talked about the house burning, where like WWE fans would be like, "This is fucked up," or "You're fucked up," and they chanted, "This is arson." They chanted, "This is murder."
This is murder.
All right, so 2 things took me off of this, and it's not even the back thing. I saw it before. Saw it happen years ago. I mean, years ago. This was a wrestling angle. That didn't bother me. Number 1, Brian no-sold that European uppercut. Come on.
That was the funny part. He was like, he fell on his ass. He just gave him the look, like, "What are you doing?" Like, of all the things to give him,
uppercut from Cesaro. Come on.
Yeah, I was shocked with that too.
That.
I need to like rerun that again and see, like, did he make full contact, or is it one of those where like he moved and like it you know what I mean? Like
it looked like a wrestling uppercut. It wasn't like a shoot uppercut looking. It was just like a normal looking move.
Standard,
Like of all the things to do, like you didn't like slap him or like headbutt him or like no. European uppercut.
Yeah.
A wrestling move.
Yeah, that was that took me. I was like, really? Okay, that's one. Number 2, you put the bag over his head. Granted, everybody was appalled. We really couldn't take our finger and just pop a fucking hole in the mouth so
He
you can.
was doing
But
it though.
that's what Brian
Did you
was
not
doing. He
see
was
him?
struggling
He
to
was
do
trying
that.
to open it.
Right.
There was,
What?
yeah, you didn't see that?
Really?
Like at one point he was struggling, but like Mox had
That's-
it so tight on his face that he
Yeah.
couldn't leverage himself to get it inside of his mouth.
Maria,
So you can see
Maria,
that.
you're standing there. Cesaro, you're standing there. Somebody, you're standing there. I know everybody's like blocking security for coming in, whatever the case may be. That's why I said the no selling of the European uppercut didn't do it for me, because at least make it look like knock him the fuck out and then put the bag on him.
We'll just kick him in the dick.
He just looked like he was doing the.
No, but at least it was. But at least it was selling. I do agree with Art. That, like it looked like he was definitely trying like poke a hole in the bag. I mean,
Yeah,
also
he
too,
was.
like Marina was knocking out referees and security.
Barely. It didn't, like I said, it didn't look that well off. I mean, come on.
Because Brian did eventually pop a hole. He did make a hole in the bag, and Moxie's still strangling him with the bag.
He was still trying to strangling him. Yeah, like he didn't care. That
Even with the hole.
Fucking yoke his ass.
That other than that, at least if you look at when Funk and Flair did it years ago, it was a little bit more like shock and awe. This one, I'm like, okay.
I loved it.
I listen. I
thought it
wasn't
was
not one of these who was
Cinema.
yeah. I wasn't one of those who sat there and was like, oh, this is just outrageous. This is crazy. Why are they doing? I'm like, listen,
children are watching.
they got to do what they got to do, man. Right now, they got to pull in the audience, bro. They got to do what they got.
Did you guys see the people put up a petition to get AEW banned because of this?
Shut the fuck up, man. Don't like it, go watch it. That's it. Let people who like it watch it.
What they should have done was pan to the crowd and get some shocking reactions from the audience. Didn't see any of that.
Yeah, because I heard there was somebody had wrote that they were at the live show and that there was a woman behind them crying her eyes out when it was happening.
Right. So get that little girl who hated when Miz cashed it. Get the shocked Brock Lesnar guy.
Or Aubrey crying when Brian retired.
Right. get those moments.
But Jay,
that would have made us solidified it even more. And you know what? Kiss my ass with this whole due to the graphic nature of this content, we will not be re-airing this because of the fuck off. You're gonna fucking replay this shit 13. Word.
WWE's done it. Remember, like WWE would show things and then they'll cut it right before the impact of whatever happened.
Right. But don't give it that fine. But don't give it a what you call it, a preemptive warning due to the graphic nature of what occurred. We will not be airing it. Oh, fuck off. You're gonna until you go to our Twitter and you can watch it as many times
over and over again.
Well, hold on. There's two things we're gonna bring up, because one, like you said, because they were posting clips throughout the night and they put out the tweet saying due to the graphic nature, and then an hour later they put out screenshots, they put out pictures of what exactly happened, and then the other thing, Jay, if they did the whole pan to the crowd thing, there's gonna be a fan going, they're on camera. The tears would go away, and then they get so excited. But what are you laughing at, Joe?
Matt on TikTok says, "Was the bag made for Red's tall boys from the bodega?" Them bags are strong, B. When you get your tall boy Coronas, them bags are strong.
I will say the bag wasn't a shopping bag. That shit was like a very tight looking bag.
Like saran wrap, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was what's that clothing store that you get the clothes in a Ziploc?
Shein.
Shein. There's a Shein bag.
That would have been funny though.
Hey Renee.
One of Renee's Shein bags.
Renee, I need to borrow a bag. Let me shave off the Shein logo.
Moxie's like, the irony is that we actually used a Shein bag from Nikki Bella. Brie Bella's her
large enough to fit a grown man's head.
That's what the outfit that she wore at All Out.
Who the hell are you impressing? Whose impression is that supposed to be?
It's Moxley.
And you know what the funny thing was? We're at the semi-main event. This was still not the craziest thing of the fucking night. Because then we get our main event.
Now this is where I get offended. This is where the offense happens.
So before you get to you being offended, it's Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. So spots that I have stuck in my head. First is the Cinder Block, where Swerve Strickland did a tribute to Homicide and did a cop killer to Hangman on the Cinder Block.
Yeah.
And then I think Hangman did a Hangman. What did Hangman do? I think he did a power
Power
bomb,
bomb
a power bomb
yeah.
straight on his back.
I said when he did the cop killer, I was like, I did the Leonardo DiCaprio thing from
Yo,
I was like, copyright infringement. Yeah, I pulled that one out.
and I need to point out too, for like before they even get in the cage, the gear. Swerve had a picture of Hangman sitting in front of the burning house.
That was so cool, man.
And Hangman's Titantron was the burning house.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a cool that was a cool callback to what occurred.
And Ari,
the back and forth of that.
Yeah.
And Ari, you mentioned to me Nana's dance. How serious
he was talking shit the whole time, and you like beat your ass.
Sip of coffee.
Yeah, the sip of coffee. I love Nana so much.
Dig deeper. Dig deeper, Swerve.
No, but how funny was he when they were choking each other out in the beginning at the ringside where the cage was coming down? And you're like, oh my God, he's going to decapitate them. And he just shoves them both in. Like, no.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Even Nana's had enough.
Like, God, get in there.
Yeah, I guess
we're not up to the spot yet, Jay.
Now I'm just saying, once the accoutrements come out, it's a steel cage match, and I'm going. Of course, we got to get all the gimmicks in there. I get it. All right.
Anything goes.
All right. The Cinder Block. Okay. Wait. Wherever you pull that one out. All right. Cool.
Listen, it was either going to be the Cinder Block or Tax.
Hold it like it was mad.
Or the staple gun.
Like, put it in a wheelbarrow. Bring it out. Like, they should have really sold that shit.
Ari, thank you for reminding me of that. Hangman stapled Swerve's chest. The fucker started laughing and just started taking them out of his chest.
And then he takes it and starts like he was shanking Hangman with it from behind. I was like, oh my God.
How about the spot where Hangman tried to take out his grill?
Oh, he did take it out. He did take it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did take it out.
I saw somebody on Twitter go, is that his fucking retainer? And like, no, that was his grill.
His retainer. Yeah, the golden retainer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People said that's the most dirtiest retainer I've ever seen in my life.
Just a heads up, guys, in case you're not from the hood.
I know what a grill is, but I'm just saying somebody on Twitter said it looked like a fucking retainer.
Somebody from Ohio.
This is Brooklyn 101 here. There's two types of grills that you can have. There's ones that you do remove that you can take out and do. And there's the ones that the dentist actually bonds to your teeth. There's those. So that's what we're looking at here.
Jay, it's funny you mentioned the dentist. Because then Hangman pulls out a syringe and pretty much numbs Swerve's cheek. I think the intention was to get the needle through his cheek, but it didn't go all the way through.
Yeah. Matt writes in it. Matt writes the syringe had Kool-Aid in it.
Hold on. Ari has a thought about it.
I don't know if you guys noticed. There was something in Swerve's cheek. Like some kind of little, like a pad or something that they probably glued in his mouth so that when he put the syringe in it, it wouldn't penetrate his cheek.
I had a better idea. Why don't you just
not do it?
Or not do it, because you can see Hangman like kind of like feeling his cheek like this, almost like he was trying to make sure that it didn't go through.
Right.
It was a weird spot.
Use a prop syringe that they use in movies. It's easy. All it does is like the little rubber tip. Just whenever it goes in. That's it. That's what you have to do.
That's probably what they did. But I think the intention was to get it. But I think the intention was for it to kind of go through his cheek. But I think that's not what it went through. No. Anyway, so he pretty much numbed his cheek. He numbed his cheek and then just threw a chair at his head as hard as he can. And the noise it made.
Hey, at least it was getting.
That's what offended me. That's the one.
Really? I was more offended by the needle.
No, that was the one
that offended me in this match. But all right.
The unblocked chair shot. That's the one that offended me. After all we've been learned about what's happening with unprotected chair shots, yeah, that's the one that does it for me.
Is this worse than the Jack Perry one in Blood and Guts?
Mm-mm.
To me, it was. It was actually
okay.
To me, it
Yeah,
was.
what this chair was
Because Swerve
broken
could have put
already.
his hands up, but
Oh
he
no.
could have put his hands up, but he just said no. Hands
Yeah.
down, throw it
Yeah.
as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And mind you, for years in old school wrestling, chairs have been gimmicked. There's
Yeah.
a way to throw those. There's a way to throw chair shots, and it wasn't until progressively after we saw what was happening with the ECW era, going into later on into the Attitude Era and all that shit, where all the chair shots became more and more official looking, and we've learned that what happened from that. In this day and age, we should know better, but no. The worst one ever was fucking Cody and the chairman
Sean
himself
Spears.
and Sean
Sean
Spears.
Spears.
That was the worst. That was bad for me because I'm like, come on, y'all should know better. But this one here, I didn't think it was necessary. I really didn't. The syringe, I go,
Really?
okay, all right. Well,
I mean, at the end of the day, the match was meant to make everyone feel uncomfortable because you're seeing two people who seemingly hate the shit out of each other just go at it. So like it wasn't meant for us to be like, oh my god, this is so great. It was, oh my god, these guys really fucking hate each other. They'll do whatever it takes to like take
no,
them out.
that I took all
It brought that emotion out of people, that uncomfortable, like shit kind of,
And that's that for me. That I took all the way through. I rode that wave all the way through. I was like, hey, listen, this is what's supposed to be what the blood match was supposed to be. Like even more. I get it that, but like I said, with what we know with the CTE and all that's been happening with concussion protocols and stuff, to take a chair shot like that was like just unnecessary. Other than that, the match was
brutal.
Brutal in a typical blow off big rivalry. It was all right.
You know what's funny is nephew didn't think it was enough.
He wanted more.
He was underwhelmed with the match. Yeah, he felt underwhelmed.
Yeah, he wanted a gun. He wanted somebody to get shot. That's what he was.
I was like, what more did you? I mean, he was like the death match that they had, the Texas death match was more. He felt more out of it than this one. He felt like they could have. Like, what more did you want them to do, though?
He wanted the whole Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck war. He wanted the TNT to come out, and they wanted
TNT.
The Road Runner, Wile E. Coyote shenanigans.
He wanted to put a grenade in his fucking mouth and blow it up. Like he wanted the whole shit. Right? Yeah.
It was so funny watching the reaction because it was like people were like, "Oh, like that's it," and people were like, "What did you want? Did you want them to do lucha spots or like fucking collar double tie-ups? Like this was a blood feud."
I think people literally wanted to see more violence out of this match.
Yeah, they wanted, they like I said, they wanted Daffy to blow up at the end of the show, and Bucks to be going, "You're doing great, you did awesome, you love it. You're all right, but I can only do it once." It's like, all right,
I will say,
you didn't get murder. I'm sorry.
These two were smart. These two were smart. They didn't try anything off the top of the cage. They kept it basic. Everything was pretty much in the ring. And then pretty much, I think the chair shot was the finish, right? There was nothing else they did.
That was it. Yeah. It was laid out, lights out. The referee was getting on my damn nerves, though.
Okay, so that was the finish. So the referees did stop. He said enough is enough. Hangman wins.
Yeah, but even in the middle, there was a spot in the middle where the ref kept stopping. I think it was Hangman, and he kept trying to stop him from doing something. And I'm like, dude, this is an unsanctioned match. Get the fuck out.
Hangman's trying to use a chair, and the ref said, no.
Right.
Get the fuck out the ring. You can see at ringside observing. But get the fuck out the ring and let them go at it. That was so distracting to me.
I get what you're saying, but it's also too the fact where it was implemented that if one can't keep going, the referee does have the discretion to say, okay, enough's enough. But
he could have been outside watching through one of those holes that they had cut in.
But meanwhile, it's like they already did the cocktail on the cinder blocks, and you're telling Hangman, don't use that chair, please. Right? Come on, enough's enough.
Can you imagine the referees outside the gate like this? Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good.
You saw that? Oh my god!
Somebody tell TK he's a genius.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
So then Hangman leaves the cage, goes up the ramp. He's about to go to the babyface tunnel, but then he thinks twice. Before that, he was about to go back in and kill him again, but he was like, the old Hangman, the one with the good heart, said, "Stop it. Enough's enough." Yeah, somebody said it was like the ending of a horror movie, which pretty much that's what it was, and then they went up the air.
That's what it was. I mean,
with Hangman bleeding, just screaming, "No!"
That's what I think they wanted All Out to feel like. Like All In was the feel good show. Danielson won, Ospreay won. Like, but this was the gritty, like, nah, everybody's
Somebody will die on this show.
like, this is
So-
the gritty show, and I like that major contrast between all shows. You know,
So
I
here's
like
my here's my context of what I believe is happening here. Okay.
Mhm.
I like the comparison of that. The good show, bad show. Fine, get it. Especially in Chicago, hot town, hot wrestling crowd. This is what you get.
Mhm.
I get that. Also, they're up in the air, getting in negotiations on network wise. In my opinion, you basically just got your loyalists. This is not going to attract anybody else. I'm sorry. This is you're gonna stay with your core audience. This is what you got.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing
and
wrong with that.
and that's what they're gonna ride with, and that's what they're gonna have. Which is, hey, like you said, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what it is.
TNA's had that for 20 years now.
If you were gonna sit there and try to bring new people to watch this is going to be off-putting, especially in this day's climate. This is not what it was 20, 30 years ago. This is a different climate now.
But you know, there are a lot of people who wish that we still had the Attitude Era style of wrestling, and they've been
They're
put off
50 and
by
60 years old.
but they're put off. Whatever, who cares? But they're put off by what WWE has been presenting the last few years because it's too soft for them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because we need to see somebody get their choppy their pee off. That's what we need to see.
Or
We
a
need
man having sex with a dead mannequin in a costume. No, I
Right.
mean, listen, we don't want to see that crap. But that's the funny thing too, that a lot of people are like, oh, you know, we want Attitude Era back, but when something is kind of similar to that presented, they start crying, clutching their pearls.
Or they go, it's too much.
Oh yeah,
I want all you
let's sign
guys
a petition.
all you guys who want the Attitude Era, I want you guys to lean into the camera. Bring your phones closer to your face, or if you're watching, come here. I got something to tell you. Come here. Come here.
I'm backing up because I don't want it back.
Between you and I, the Attitude Era was shit. It really wasn't that good. The only thing that ever really saved that was some really good Stone Cold shit. Everything else, story wise, shock value. That's it.
Crazy
It was
shit.
garbage.
If it wasn't in the main event, it was definitely the worst.
It was the
worst
most
shit.
watered down ECW show you would ever fucking see. It was
That is so
garbage.
true. Because if
Me
you
and I-
really want something hardcore, then you want something like ECW. You could get that from GCW.
Yeah, you could honestly, if you wanted to see that, you could have waited till like 12 and at 12 midnight on a Saturday, and you could have watched it on Channel 31. ECW would have gave you all of that.
Mhm.
Me and Ariana will definitely cover the Attitude Era on an episode of History and Headlock.
Definitely, you guys should.
Oh, we are. We definitely are.
But
Since you're leading up to that, you might as well do a promo for your show and let everybody know where they can get you guys at.
well, but before we do that, I wanted to mention that because you brought up the fact that they pretty much have their diehards at this point. If you were to show a new fan AEW, you pretty much show them all in. You don't show them all out.
But you know what's funny? You mentioned that there's this young man on YouTube who is a brand new wrestling fan. He's only been watching wrestling for like a year and a half, period. So he
Mhm.
started off with WWE, and you know he enjoys his WWE. Him and his fiance watch it together. And then just maybe in the last month or so, they started watching AEW because people were like, "Oh, you should check out AEW if you want to, get a full scope of professional wrestling." And he is slowly but surely falling in love with AEW.
And the wife isn't.
No, she loves it. She's like, Will Ospreay's my man.
Mhm.
And he's like, he hasn't watched their TV that much, but he watched Double or Nothing, All In, and All Out. So the 3 pay-per-views he's watched, and he's been impressed with everything he sees.
Mhm.
So now
Right.
he's like, what I'm gonna
And-
do is he's been watching the TV shows, and he was trying to wait like a full month of TV before he did a review, but then he watched All Out, and he was like, I have to review this.
Yeah, and what usually happens to that, and which is they get that core there down the line. Which they'll continue to do, which they've been doing for the longest, it becomes desensitized, and then they go, okay, all right, next, what else is there? But that's the hope that you want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I really believe is if you wanted to keep with the new audience type, show the athleticism, show the compelling outside storytelling that's not Disney. I get that. I'm fine with that. And the other thing that you're doing is having these matches on pay-per-views, and we're getting dog shit on every other show. So
Mhm.
we'll see. But like I said, guys, thanks for popping in. Hey, you guys, Adi, you did your first live one. This is your first live,
Yeah,
right?
I think.
Oh, wow.
Is it my first live?
I think this is your first
Maybe.
live. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's your
I've lost
second. She did the SummerSlam review with you live.
What
Oh,
did
that's
what that
right.
live?
The
Yeah,
SummerSlam
your
review
SummerSlam was
a
live.
few weeks ago.
Oh,
Was that
was
live?
it?
Was that live? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was.
I'm
Because you
gonna-
made fun of me on live, and I responded to you guys.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're right. So, your second live. There you go. Your second live.
Yeah,
So,
I like this. It's fun.
guys, where they can find you guys and what we have upcoming for our next episode of History and Headlocks.
New York Wrestling Media on YouTube. Subscribe and tap the bell for notifications. And episode 4 is going to be a very funny episode where we take a deep dive look at when wrestlers have a product they have to sell us on or pay per view, and definitely very obscure commercials. Like, I mean, to name some off, like remember Sting battling a little boy over a can of Sprite.
First can of
And-
Sprite.
And remember Royal Rumble 2005 where they parroting with Jersey Boys?
West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Right.
So we're definitely going to do a reaction
Yeah,
episode
it's
on
gonna be
that.
fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mike, you got to watch some of the stuff I sent you yet.
I can't wait.
There's some real doozy ones from Japan that are like, so
Oh,
good.
I can only
So good.
imagine.
any
Abdullah the
Japanese
Butcher.
commercials, I'm with it because wow, those
So
are
good.
the ones all over the top.
It's so funny, and like you don't expect these wrestlers to be in these situations in the commercial.
And
Especially Abdullah the Butcher, you know.
for anybody who's watching on the YouTubers and was watching on TikTok, thank you guys for partaking for today's our live episode. It was a last minute decision, but got a lot of looks from the TikToks and the YouTubes as well. Thanks for you guys for checking in. Make sure you check us out on all the social media outlets, on the like and group pages on Facebook, as well as on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tab, as well as on the TikToks as you guys are watching here. Subscribe and like on the YouTube page as well as on Twitch. And make sure you check us out on New York Wrestle Media, the network. Got big things going on there. Not only we have History and Headlocks just released another episode of the Third Announcers Table. Those dudes were off the chain this past week. I mean,
Good episode.
ridiculous.
Great episode.
And also, I'm starting a game. I'm video gaming, so I'm doing some stuff over there. Press save with Santi. Make sure you check us out there. And another episode of Call It a Pinfall will be coming out this week. And also, big love, big shout out to our boy Ray Sanchez, who came in this week, did another episode with me of We Didn't Buy a Ticket. That is another banger. Oh, Jesus Christ. We got to do a for that one as well. You guys got to come in for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Shout-
all for it.
Shout out to Ray as well. He got to interview Sammy Callahan this past week on his
man.
on his end.
Oh, that's great.
300th episode. Shout out to him
Awesome.
for that, man. Big
That's a nice guy.
big things going over there. And as always, guys, thank you for partaking. And we're out of here. Oh, who's this? And
Bananas, those 2-3 apps.
three at the Third Announcer Table.
Oh,
Yeah, guys.
they're
And,
funny.
as always, I got to hit the outro because Mark never knows when the show ends. So, talk to you guys
he
in a
doesn't
second.
care.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy.